Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the January 20th Undercard Media Conference Call. Your host for today, Lou DiBella, will begin.
Thanks, people, for joining us. Greetings from Blizzard in New York City. I know that Marcus, Browne, and Adam are both local right now, so they're experiencing this insanity with me, and I guess a lot of you are also. So we're going to try to warm up this Blizzard afternoon and talk boxing for a little bit. Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson, terrific fight, Saturday, January 20th, 2018 on Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 p.m. Eastern Time start time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, and of course at the beautiful Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Tickets for the event are priced starting at $50, and they can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, the box office at Barclays Center, or by calling 800-745-3000. We have a terrific undercard, and we're going to talk to the principals on that undercard on this call. We're going to start with two gentlemen that are going to be in two fights that are going to start our televised evening off on Showtime Sports YouTube channel and Showtime Boxing's Facebook channel. So these two bouts will be live streamed on Showtime YouTube and Showtime Facebook. Marcus Browne, 20-0, 15 KOs of Staten Island, New York, coming over a sensational knockout of Shawnee Monahan, rated number 3 by the BC, 7 by the EBA, 6 by the IBF, 4 by the WBO. One of the rising stars at light heavyweight, making his 12th appearance at the Barclays Center, and pretty much, fighting and waiting out his chance for a huge fight and a world title fight that will be coming, I think, shortly in 2018. But first, he's got to get past the tough Francine Tutu. In Tutu, 17-1. His only loss was at the Barclays Center in a hotly contested bout with Benavides, the 168-pound champion. The fight was stopped very controversially. And Tutu is a legitimate guy and a guy that's going to try to test Marcus Browne, but in getting in the ring with Marcus Browne, he's getting in with one of the very, very best in the world. And Marcus, you want to say a couple of words?
Thank you, guys. How you doing? Most importantly, I'm just honored to be able to, continue my career on the undercard. Like Robert Easter Jr., Adam, myself, and a couple other young fighters. Most importantly, I know Francie's a very tough live game guy, and we're prepared for that, and we're prepared for what he brings to the table. And come January 20th, I just can't wait to, go to work, show my skills, and, continue that march towards the world title. And this is a guy that, that's definitely going to test me. He's definitely going to be there all night, and we got to convince him to not be there. And that's the plan.
Thanks, Marcus. And Marcus has really been one of the cogs of the Brooklyn boxing program at Barclays Center. This will be Marcus's 12th appearance at the Barclays Center. So he's one of the fighters that's fought the most in the building, and this will be his 12th appearance in the building. The other fighter on the streamed telecast is one of the up-and-coming young heavyweights in the world. He's already got a huge fan base with Polish fans and Polish-American fans. He's got a history as a New York Golden Gloves fighter and a young fighter that's been developed in the New York area. Adam Kownacki, 16-0, 13 KOs, out of Brooklyn, born in Łomża, Poland, and he moved to Brooklyn with his family when he was 7 years old. Two-time Golden Glove champion, rated number 13 by the WBC, and his last fight he had a sensational 4-round knockout of world title challenger Arthur Spilka. That was on the same show that Marcus fought at the Nassau Coliseum. On the 20th of January, he's going to take on a tough kid, Yago Kownacki, number 15 in the IBF. Kownacki is 26-1 with 18 KOs. He's from Georgia. He also lives in Brooklyn, New York. Kownacki is trained by the illustrious Joe Goosen, and Joe's trained, I think, Kownacki for his last 3 or 4 fights, and this is really another step in the road for Adam toward a heavyweight championship opportunity. So, Adam?
Thanks for the introduction, Lou. I can't wait to be back in the ring on January 20th. I've been training very hard. I'm ready to shine and prove that I belong with the best heavyweights in the world. And this fight will take me one step closer to being the heavyweight champion of the world. And I will prove it once again on January 20th that I'm ready to hang in, to fight with these top-notch heavyweights and keep climbing up the ranks.
Thank you. And moderator will open up to questions from the press.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue. Our first question is going to come from Keith Eidick from BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, my first question is for Adam. Adam, how much do you feel that your win against Spilka kind of legitimized you in being a heavyweight contender and showed people that you might be ready for a title shot?
Well, I think I showed that I'm ready to shine at the biggest stage. It took a while there, 10 or 9 rounds to take Spilka out of there. It took me 4. So, that was a big statement, and I continue to build on that statement on January 20th.
Obviously, Deontay Wilder fights a lot at Barclays Center. It's a place where you've also fought a lot. He's probably going to fight there on March 3rd. But how much have you thought about the possibility of somewhere down the line, maybe you challenging Deontay for the WBC title there?
My goal is to be world champion. Whoever has the title, that's what I want. And if it's Dante, then it's Dante.
And I also have a question for Marcus. Marcus, what do you know about your opponent specifically? Since I know you just got him secured a couple of weeks ago, but what have you been able to find out about him and what he brings to the table?
He's a real scrappy guy in the category of a Sakio Beakerish kind of guy. He'll make a fight ugly if you allow him to do it. Another thing is he throws a high volume of punches, and he's real crafty. He may look, he may not look like what he seems in the ring on tape. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just prepared and ready for whatever he brings that night, and I'm just ready to implement our game plan that we have in order and to break him down.
Marcus, you obviously had a very good 2017 with some spectacular wins on your record. How important is it for you to kind of start this year off in a similar way and build toward a title shot later in the year?
Well, super important because at the end of the day, this is the first, actual big card, of the year, and I gotta put the light heavyweights out there on notice that that I'm here and I'm not playing.
Marcus, is there one? I know the titles are kind of spread around in the light heavyweight division. Is there one guy more than the other that you want to fight, or is it just whoever gives you the opportunity to fight for the title?
Nah, no one guy more than the other. I'm just ready and willing and waiting my turn for whoever I get the chance at fighting. And I have no picks. I ain't got no favorites right now. It is what it is. I'm at the point where it's eat or get ate, and I'm ready to eat.
Hey, Lou, can you speak on how far Marcus has come and maybe where he's now in position to get a title shot later this year?
I mean, I think when you look at first of all, you look at the light heavyweight division, and there's a tremendous demand for quality contenders, guys capable of taking on the top of the division. It's sort of a division that's got it's a little bit heavy at the top, and there aren't a lot of Marcus Browns. I mean, Marcus is one of the elite prospects in the division, but he's past the point of prospect. He's really at the point of contender right now, just waiting for the biggest fight out there to materialize. There's some big light heavyweight fights on the horizon. Some of them I think will be announced fairly soon, and I think in 2018, Marcus is going to get that huge opportunity, and he deserves it because he's really in that handful of top guys. And there's some. Look, there are the champions, and there's like a handful of other guys out there, and those guys are all going to be competing in the next year, and Marcus is going to get that opportunity. He's also a professional. He knows he has to take care of business on January 20th, and and Tutu, who's moving up in weight for this chance, really doesn't have anything to lose. So Marcus can't look past that. He's just got to go out there, do his thing, and he knows that a title shot is waiting for him later this year.
And Lou, I just have one last question for you. Can you speak on what Adam showed in the Spilka fight, especially getting rid of him the way that he did, and maybe kind of opening some people's eyes in that fight?
Look, Adam does. I love Adam as a fighter. I've always loved Adam as a fighter. He's a tremendously skilled boxer for heavyweight. He doesn't. His natural build is not like King Kong. So people look at him and they tend to underestimate him. But what he has is everything: movement, speed, power, boxing skills. This guy's a legitimate heavyweight contender. Not only just a prospect. He's a legitimate heavyweight contender. And he showed that when he wiped out Spilka. He didn't just beat Spilka. He destroyed Spilka. No one expected that kind of victory. Arthur was a perennial, top 10, 15 kind of guy in recent years, and a guy that everyone viewed as a tough, rugged, heavyweight, certainly a huge test for a young heavyweight. I mean, Adam didn't only pass the test, Adam blew him out of the ring. So, in my mind, a couple of more performances like that, just keeping the winning track he's on, is going to earn Adam a shot at a world title, particularly with the huge following he has in the Polish and Polish American communities, and the number of people he can bring out when he does eventually challenge for a title, particularly if that bout takes place at the Barclays Center.
Great. Thanks, Lou. Thanks a lot, guys.
Our next question is going to come from John Kownacki from Sunday Puncher Boxing. Please go ahead.
Okay. Marcus, last year you really on the cusp of.
I cannot hear you at all.
Mr. Kownacki?
You're breaking up. It's we can't hear the question.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the next person.
Yeah, I think you need to go to the next question. If that person wants to call back in on a landline, we can't hear you.
Our next question is going to take it's going to be Len Satterfield from Premier Boxing Champs. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, thank you. Picking up on what Lou said about Adam. Adam, you there?
Yes.
You said Lou said nobody expected you to do what you did to Spilka, but when we talked, you told me you said Spilka's ability to take a punch is not that good. He lacks heart. Beating him will put me in line for a title fight. If a knockout comes, that's great. But if not, then it will be 10 rounds of me beating him up. You were sure that you were going to do what you did to him?
Yeah, I mean, I was positive. I told you that before it happened. I'm a man on a mission, and the mission is becoming the first Polish American heavyweight champion of the world. And no one will stop me.
The other thing you did was you told me that when you hit him with the right hand and you drew blood in the fourth round, that you whispered in his ear, "Are you remembering the Deontay Wilder fight?" You said that he was shocked, his eyes got wide, and after that you pressured him and stopped him like you knew you would. There's like an element of, it seems like a killer instinct in you that no one really sees until you get into the ring. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I try to stay, as humble as I could be. Very blessed with the talent that God has given me with boxing, and I'm trying to, just maximize my potential and give my family a better life. But like you said, boxing, it's a war. It's a war zone. It's we put our lives on the line when we fight. So it's me or him, and I'm just gonna keep putting the pressure on guys and making them fold.
My last question for you is, obviously Spilka and you were both from Poland. The fight was in New York, and what have you heard from the Polish community since that fight, and how much do you talked about being the first Polish champion? How much has that inspired you further?
I mean, a lot of doubters turned into believers. I was in Poland a month ago, and the love I got there was ridiculous, and I really like that. But that's just one step. I mean, you gotta keep working hard, keep training hard, and the goal is being a world champion, not beating Artur Szpilka. So I'm very focused on Iago Kiladzew right now, and I have to pass this next test on January 20th, and on my way to become world champion.
Okay. Now I got a question for Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Marcus, how you doing?
What up, Lem? How you, brother?
I'm blessed, man. I'm doing all right. As Lou pointed out, you know, more than half of your fights have been in New York. 14. This will be your 14th time in New York. Your 12th in Barclays. You're 11-0 with 7 knockouts there. 13-0, 9 knockouts in New York overall. What does it mean for you to fight in your home state?
At this point, man, especially, you know, being an Olympian and just being an amateur who fought in, you know, different countries, the earth is my turf. So, you know, I don't really look into it as, you know, it's, you know, it's, of course, you know, it's cool to fight in New York and, it's, you know, and it's a plus, you know, but it's annoying at the same time because, you know, people ask you for tickets and things of that nature. So I'm just at the point in my career where I'm just blessed to be to have the opportunity to fight in general, you know what I'm saying? And number one, and that's basically it for me. You know, fighting in New York is great though. It's always a great thing, you know, to come out, you know, see your people, your family, and your friends, and that thing, and things of that nature. But where I'm at in my career right now, and mentally, I really don't care where I'm fighting. Honestly, I'm just like you know, piggybacking off of Adam, like, you know, like we all are. We're all on mission. His mission is to be the first Polish heavyweight champion, and mine is to be the first world champion from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? And we on that mission, and nothing's gonna stop that. Whether it's fighting in New York, Guam, or Dubai, it don't matter.
Okay, one more last question about just fighting in Brooklyn, though. Your last fight in Brooklyn, obviously you fought in New York, the last fight against Monahan, but your last fight in Brooklyn, obviously there was some, you know, it wasn't the definitive victory that you wanted.
Correct.
Do you want to return to Brooklyn and be more definitive in this? I mean, obviously, Tattoo was knocked out his last time at Brooklyn, at Barclays.
Correct. I definitely, you know, want to, you know, there's no pressure for me, honestly, you know. At the end of the day, you know, we got the win, and, you know, of course, you know, everybody has their opinions, and, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm just ready to go in there, implement our game plan, not put on a show for anybody, and, you know, be defensively sound, be smart, and take care of business, man, and just break this tough guy down. You know, this guy, you know, he doesn't come to play. You know, he comes to work, and, you know, he's a real live game guy, man. You know, he's not going to give you nothing, so you got to take it. And that's why I'm at with it, you know, mentally, physically, and spiritually at this point in my career. I don't really have nothing to prove to anybody. I'm going to just, you know, let my skills speak for themselves and not put, you know, no pressure on myself to do anything that I don't need to force no issues.
But wouldn't it be nice, though, to keep that streak going? You got 2 quick knockouts against, you know, one against Monahan, but the one before that against Williams, who was talking a whole lot of, you know, smack. Wouldn't it be nice to keep that going and further make a statement, like Lou said earlier in the?
Oh, of course. You know, it's always good to, you know, knock a guy out, but you know, like the late great Bernard Hopkins always told me, you know, take them how they come, because they all not gonna be that easy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just prepared. I'm prepared for however many rounds we're scheduled to fight, 12, 10. It doesn't really matter. But if a knockout comes, it comes. I'll be implementing our game plan and setting them up and doing what I got to do. But I'm not forcing no issue. You know what I mean? Because that's when you get caught up into lunging and being out fighting outside of yourself and trying to impress people. And I've learned that that doesn't pay, because at the end of the day people will be like, look at you lost and this is that and the third. So I'm gonna just stay within myself and be the best Marcus Browne on January 20th. I can't wait to fight.
Thank you.
It's been like 6 months too long.
Lem, there's one other thing to clarify. You said that Ntutu had been knocked out in his last time at Barclays Center. If you watch the fight,
it was controversial, right? It was controversial.
The fight was stopped in a tremendously controversial manner that caused the Showtime announcers to call it one of the strangest stoppages they'd seen. No disrespect to the winner of the fight, but I would say if Marcus was able to knock out Ntutu on January 20th, he'd be the first person who ever did that.
That point well made. Thank you, Lou.
Okay.
Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Sunday Puncher Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hi. I hope my connection is better now. So this is for Marcus. So you had a great 2017, as others have mentioned. You look really on the cusp of a major fight. I was just wondering quickly if you could, if the two most likely fighters you would fight, I would assume would be Adonis Stevenson and Badou Jack. Just wondering if you could give your quick thoughts on each of those fighters.
Quick thoughts on each of those fighters. I'm super focused. I'm super locked in on Francie and Tutu at this point. And but I'm a fighter at heart, so I don't see no special effects in either of those guys. I mean, Adonis is super strong. Badou's a workhorse. He comes and he works, but I don't see any of them beating me personally. And that's as far as that goes at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? Speak to me after January 20th, then we'll talk about it more. And we can elaborate on it more. But at this point, I'm focused on Francie. But those guys are definitely in my sights. And I don't really see nothing crazy.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good luck on fight night.
Thank you, boss.
And our last question is going to come from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Barred. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Adam. In your last fight against Spielka, you not only stopped him faster than Deontay Wilder, but you stopped his movement and you came in a lot lighter at weight than you had been for several years. Can you talk about what we can expect in the fight with Kownacki? Kownacki had been a cruiserweight up until a few years ago. How will the weight? How will that affect your weight, and what can we expect for this fight?
Like you said, Diego was a cruiserweight, so, and I'm a real heavyweight, so he will feel the difference in size. I'm planning to be around 250 come fight day. I'm in great shape, though. I'm already sparring 10 rounds. I'm putting great work with a lot of great guys. I'm going to have Brian Jennings come next week to help with the sparring. And I'm ready to do what I did to Spielka, get another W and keep doing myself.
Adam, where do you think you are in the heavyweight division? Because this year we're going to see a lot of talk of various title fights, maybe unification fights and all of that. Where are you in the picture, and what's your timeline for getting a title shot?
I'm on top. It's just a matter of time to get all the hardware. And that's where my mindset is at. I think I'm the best heavyweight fighter. It's going to take fight after fight to prove it, And Diego has it coming on January 20th.
Do you want to make a prediction for that fight with Kownacki?
Listen, like I always say, if it doesn't go, if I don't knock him out, he's gonna take a punishment for 10 rounds.
Okay, thank you. Good luck in the fight.
Thank you, sir.
That was the last question for this section.
Well, thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Adam. Good luck to both of you on your fights on January 20th, and I'll look forward to seeing you fight week.
All right, see you then.
Thank you, Lou. All right, see you guys.
Thank you. And press, stay on the line because we're going to pick up the Robert Easter versus Javier Fortuna IBF lightweight championship fight in just a moment.
Hey, Robert, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Hey, Robert. Is Javier on the phone?
We're working on that right now. We can get started with Robert.
All right, so let's start with Robert. The IBF lightweight champion, 20-0, 14 KOs. Proudly represents Toledo, Ohio, where he's got a huge following, and a lot of his fans travel. So, Robert, I know we're going to see a lot of your homeboys from Toledo going to be there at the Barclays Center on January 20th. This is his return to the Barclays Center for the first time since his fifth pro fight in 2013. He won the IBF lightweight title in September 16 in a terrific fight against a very talented Richard Comey. He defended that belt twice by unanimous decision since then. Trained by his dad, Robert Sr., and he was a U.S. Olympic team alternate in 2012. The IBF lightweight champion of the world and one of the best young fighters in the world, Robert Easter.
Hey, how's it going?
Say a few words to the press.
You said what?
How do you feel about this fight that's coming up with Fortuna, and are you looking forward to coming back to Brooklyn and Showtime Boxing?
It's always a pleasure to fight in Brooklyn, in front of my fans on the East Coast. I have a big fan base out there, and, you're going to expect the fame or even greater in this fight for me. Another victory. It may come knockout. It may come a knockout. I'm not saying it's going to even go the distance.
All right, and we'll open up since we don't have Javier yet. I don't think he's on the phone yet. Let's open up with questions for Robert, and when Javier joins us, we'll mix him into this call. Moderators could open up for any questions for Robert Easter.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Hello, Robert.
What's going on, Dan?
Not too much. Happy New Year to you. I wanted to start with this question. There's been a lot of conversation among the boxing fans and media about some of the other guys in your weight class, most notably the WBC champion Mikey Garcia, who's going to have his next fight at junior welterweight, and Jorge Linares, who's got the WBA title, who's going to be fighting on January 27th. And I don't hear a lot of people talk too much about Robert Easter. And I wonder if you feel at all like you are maybe, and I'm not sure why, but maybe a little bit of the forgotten man in the weight class, even though you're a champion also, you're undefeated, and you've been, performing at a top level for the last, couple of years. Do you feel like you are a little bit of the forgotten guy in your weight division, and you want to wake people up to the fact that you shouldn't be?
I wouldn't actually say I'm the forgotten guy. I'm just the guy they don't want to fight. Of course, when you hear these interviews, these guys talking, they always bring up everybody else's name except for mine, and you cannot forget about me. I'm the tallest in the weight class, maybe the fastest, and probably one of the strongest. So, of course, they not going to mention my name because they don't want to fight me. I've been calling these guys out. I know they see that. So how can they not acknowledge that? Shout out to Jorge and Mikey. They're doing their thing. They winning these fights like champions supposed to. But it's time, we unify these titles like I've been trying to do.
Now, there was some discussion, I think, before Mikey Garcia signed for the fight with Lipinets, to fight at 140, that there was a decent chance that perhaps that his first fight of the year would be against you in a unification fight. Can you tell me from your side of things how serious that was and what that was about?
I wanted to fight. It was serious on my side. I wanted to fight. I don't care where at, how much, none of that. I wanted to fight.
Was any offer made to you?
I heard, you know, at first it was I didn't produce enough fans, or the fight didn't make sense, which that didn't make sense, and some other excuses the guy came up with. But like I said, I was ready to fight whenever, whatever, and how much. It didn't even matter.
Did you get an offer for that fight?
We didn't actually get an offer.
Didn't get that far, is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they made an offer towards him. You know, like I said, I didn't really care.
Okay, well, now you're fighting Fortuna, who, you know, is not a bad fighter by any stretch. He only got the one loss, but, you know, he's smaller. You're going to have a huge height advantage like you have against most opponents. You're 5'11". I believe he's about 5'6".
Yeah.
Loss was at 130 to a Jason Sosa, who I don't think is necessarily close to your level. Do you feel like you're just a huge favorite in this fight against him, smaller guy?
Yeah, but that, you know, I'm taller than most of my opponents. You know, that's nothing new. Of course, I'm the favorite. I'm the champion. He's a former world champion. But like you said, none of these guys haven't faced nobody with the skills of mine. So, you know, you're gonna see another boxing clinic from me in this fight, and putting a pause on somebody. Well, Javier FORTUNA.
What kind of statement then would you like to make in this match?
I would like to make the same statement I've been making, and that's why these guys are scared to fight me.
You are, as you said, a tall fighter for the weight class. I wonder, you're 26 now, so you're not old, but you're not like a baby anymore. How much longer do you think you can hold 135?
I can hold it just as long as they want me to. But, you know, like I said, man, I'm trying to unify these titles and then move up after that. Until my goal is reached, I'm going to be at 135, giving these guys trouble.
All right, very good, Robert. Thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you at the fight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lou, we have Javier on the line now.
Oh, thank you. Javier, and is someone on to translate for Javier?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Javier Fortuna, 33-1-1 with 23 KOs. Born in the Dominican Republic, La Romana. Now lives in Braintree, Massachusetts. Promoted by the illustrious Samson Lukowitz in Samson Boxing. He's a former two-time two-division world champion. He was a champion at featherweight and at super featherweight, and now he's moving up to lightweight to challenge Robert Easter Jr. So, translator, if you could ask Javier to say a few words, please.
Si quieres empezar con una par de palabras.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Dios le bendiga a todos.
God bless everyone.
Me siento muy contento.
So you feel very happy, fortunate.
Y orgulloso de que Robert Easter me dé la oportunidad.
Very fortunate that Robert Easter gave him the opportunity
de pelear por el título mundial.
To fight for the world title.
Siendo él el campeón. Siendo él
being that he's the world champion.
Pero que hasta ese día será siendo el campeón.
Nevertheless, it will be the end of his reign.
Lo siento porque él es un campeón y tiene
so I know he has his fans. He's a champion.
Pero yo tengo mi meta que todos los obstáculos tengan
so my goal is to become world champion again.
Thank you, and moderator, we can open up again to questions for either fighter from the press.
Our next question is going to come from Nick Petrovorik from Toledo Blade.
Hey, Robert, how you doing?
All right, yourself?
I'm doing really well, man. Last time I talked to you, you were mentioning that you kind of wanted, now that you have one belt at lightweight, you kind of wanted to go get some of the other ones. If you win this fight here against Fortuna, do you think it's realistic that some of the other guys will give you the chance?
When I win this fight, like I said, I don't know. I've been calling these guys out for a while, and it's kind of up to them. You know, I've been sitting back, taking these mandatory fights and fights that really don't make sense like unifying the titles would. But you know, hopefully we can. You know, all the champions meet up and fight. So that when I win this fight, hopefully.
And if you aren't going to get the chance to fight one of the other 135 guys, is it possible that you go up to 140 for your next fight?
I don't know. We're gonna sit back and talk to my camp, and we're gonna see what's the best move after that.
Okay. And looking at Fortuna, obviously a lefty, is there anything that you have to do training-wise or that you have done training-wise in preparation for him?
No. You know, I've been facing left-handers my whole career, amateur and pro. You know, you just have to make a few adjustments. You know, that's what professionals do when they get in the ring. That's why I really don't study tapes or nothing because, you know, they might not fight you the same as what they fought the last person or, you know, how they fought an orthodox fighter. So it's all about making adjustments once you get in that ring. Whenever I'm in the gym, I always give it 110%, and I always train until I ain't got no more left in the gym.
When you're looking at this fight going into it, what's the thing that more than anything else, that you want to gain from fighting Fortuna?
Just keep putting on like I've been putting on. You know, keep going out there making these statements, you know, showing people that, you know, I can't be beat. You know, not only him, but for these other fighters. As you can see, none of the champions, you know, are aimed my way. So obviously, I'm doing something right.
Thanks, Robert. Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Eidig from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
My question is for Robert. Robert, Garcia obviously is going in a different direction for February 10th, and then it says that he would like to fight Linares after that. Do you get a sense maybe that that's a fight that might not happen for you because he doesn't necessarily want it for one reason or another?
I'm sensing that, you know, but if both camps can supposedly come to agreement, then we can get something popping. I mean, I'm hoping we can. You know, we can face off one day. Not only Mikey though, you know, you still have Jorge, you still have him in a way. He's still a champion as well.
Are you looking at it maybe like if Garcia decides to stay at 140 pounds, that the Linares fight is a fight that you could make for your next fight, you know, assuming you win on January 20th also?
Of course. It didn't matter if he stayed or if he didn't. I still wanted that fight. Like I said, I've been ready to unify these titles for so long. I've been sitting back waiting, not only on Mikey, but the other champions. With Flanagan, he had moved up. And now we have Linares.
What do you think of Linares from what you've seen from him?
He's a crafty fighter, fast, moves a lot, but something I haven't seen before. He's nothing special I haven't seen before.
Robert, Fortuna's obviously said a lot of things over the last week or so about knocking you out, and the referee's going to have to save you and things like that. What do you make of it?
Them things he posed to say. He posed to hype himself up, and he posed to hype the fight up. But he and his champ knows the truth. They know the real. They know what they getting themselves into. You know, I don't really have to trash talk. You know, my work is done in the ring, and June 20th, we all gonna see that.
Thanks, Robert. I also have a question for Javier. Can you ask him what he thinks about Easter and why he thinks it's a fight that he'll be able to win by knockout? Maybe some of the flaws or whatever he feels are weaknesses that Robert has.
o yo pienso que Istel es un boxeador grande, que se va a mi conveniencia.
So of course he's a tall fighter, but he also sees it very convenient to him.
Y he notado en él que él no va a poder aguantar mi pegada.
And he feels that he won't be able to hold his punches, the power of them.
Porque en esta pelea vengo más duro que en todas.
He said in this fight he'll come more focused than any other fight.
Yo espero que él no tenga ninguna excusa, ni él ni su equipo.
And he wants to tell him that hopefully, there's no excuses with him or his camp. He wants the best Easter that could possibly come to fight.
Robert, what's your response to that?
Like I said, he's supposed to talk. He's supposed to hype himself up. Excuses. I never had made excuses in the ring. My record is perfect. My record is perfect. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm winning these fights. I'm like, he's trying to get where I'm at. He's trying to get another strap, which is gonna fail coming January 20th. Like I said, he's supposed to hype himself up. All the talk, I don't get into none of that. And everybody has a game plan until they get hit, man.
Thank you, Robert. I just have one last question for Javier. He's viewed as an underdog in this fight. Can you ask him how much that's motivated him? And he's viewed as the guy kind of moving up to Robert's weight class and an underdog.
Sí, eso me motiva mucho más.
That does motivate me much more.
A concentrarme más, como igual.
And to give me the opportunity to concentrate that much more.
Como igual me tuvieron a mí en la pelea de Douglas.
He's been the underdog a few times.
Y lo sorprendí en su misma casa.
And like the Douglas fight, he's surprised everybody in his hometown.
Yo había querido que esta pelea había sido en Ohio.
He would have liked for this fight to be in Ohio.
Había sido mucho mejor para mí.
And that would have been much more better for me because I performed better under pressure.
What does he think of Robert's last couple of fights?
¿Qué tú piensas de la última pelea de Robert?
Si me viene así, con ese mismo boxeo.
He figured he'll be a little better than that because if he comes the way he just came and the way he fought his last fight, he won't reach the 5th round. He's saying he got to reinvent himself because if he don't, he won't go 5.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Our next question is going to come from Nestor Gibbs from theboxingboys.com. Please go ahead.
Hi, my first question is for Robert Easter. Robert, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. Trouble. What is up, brother? I mean, Javier FORTUNA is talking a lot. It's interesting. He's been talking about knockout now. His last couple of fights, he has had one TKO, but he went to a few decisions. So do you think that it's just hyping the fight, or do you feel he has the power to knock you out?
Of course, they just hyping the fight. He has had power in the lower weight classes, but like I said, all that shit go out the window once you get hit. Once he get hit by what I'm bringing, then all that what they talking is gonna go out the window. He hasn't faced nobody with the skills I have. He's been knocked out for one. He talking about I gotta reinvent myself. He has to reinvent himself. That's why he's trying to become a champion again, as he says. You know what I'm saying? I'm already a champion. I'm already in the shoes he want to be in. Like I said, I'm not really gonna talk. All that what they talking about knockout. We gonna January 20th. We gonna put the gloves on, and you know what I'm saying. We gonna get in that ring, and I'm gonna come out victorious, like I've been doing. You know what I'm saying.
All right, I wanted to address a couple of things you were mentioning earlier. A few of the other reporters, when you were speaking about the Linares fight or the Mikey fight, and kind of their excuses as to why they wouldn't take it, whether or not you didn't produce enough fans or basically popularity. Am I paraphrasing all that correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, in your hometown, you usually do well. So do you feel that you can put together an offer to those other parties to bring the fight to your hometown where you are popular?
I mean, that's just a lame excuse. You know what I'm saying? To not fight. I don't produce enough fans. What's his name? Limpinez? You know, no disrespect to him, but what? Come on now. Yeah, everybody knows that is not true. You know what I'm saying? I have fans all over. You know, my fan base is big, and like I said, man, it don't matter if we fought in a room with nobody. It shouldn't even matter if both parties, the money good and the contract's good, then we should fight. I wouldn't care about fighting in front of nobody because I know what I'm gonna do.
And when it comes specifically to the Mikey Garcia fight, is there maybe something personal there because of your promotion/affiliation with About Billions and Browne having that last fight with Mikey? What is it that you see or seen that you feel that you can do better than your big bro?
This has nothing to do with AB. You know, has everything to do with Mikey being a champion at 135 and Jorge Linares being a champion at 135 and I'm being a champion at 135. It's time to unify. Like, what don't make sense about that? You know, so it has nothing to do with my big bro AB. You know, like I said, man, if I was that much an easy fight, you know, the fight would have been made. You know, off the offer they gave Mikey, it would have been made, and you know, it just didn't make sense. All these excuses, you know, I don't make no excuses. I'm coming to fight, and they know that.
Well, Robert, I want to thank you, and can't wait for fight night. I got some for Fortuna, obviously. Hector, if you can just ask Fortuna if he feels that because there's so much chatter and pre-negotiations, you know, we heard rumors of Mikey versus Easter in the past, that maybe Robert is overlooking Fortuna and he can capitalize on that. Hector, Bermuda?
Yeah, I'm translating now. Yo.
No, la pelea que va ahora con Dios por delante, García Fortuna.
He said he's just trying to get in position to fight Garcia.
Este 20 de enero hay historia en el museo
and then
en República Dominicana.
This January 20th, there will be history made in Dominican Republic.
Sobre lo que dijo Easter, de que a mí me han noqueado.
And because for what Easter said about his knockout,
Tengo cuidado y miedo con esto.
he's careful. He's careful of that.
Ahora que se cuide que nunca le han hecho eso.
Now he that never happened to him. He's been hurt, but that never happened to him, so he got to look out for that.
Y que no tiene cuidado con eso.
And you have to watch out for it.
And that was the last question for this, correct?
Well, I had one more. I'm sorry, I had myself muted. Robert Easter also brought up the fact that Javier Fortuna was moving up in weight, but he actually started at 135. So can he just express to us how comfortable he's going to feel at 135?
Sí, yo me voy a sentir súper bien.
I'm going to be super good at 135.
Porque
because
ya he notado y he estado ahí
I'm real close to weight, and he's made that weight a few times already. In this last couple fights.
My last one is, does he feel stronger? Because he's mentioning a lot, like other reporters said, a lot about knocking out Easter. He said it here already. And it's not like he doesn't have knockout power, but he's not known as a knockout puncher. So does he feel anything different coming into this fight?
¿Tú te sientes más fuerte yendo para esta pelea de la última pelea?
Sí, me siento mucho más fuerte y mejor preparado.
I feel a lot stronger and a lot more prepared for this fight.
Well, all right. Thank you for answering the questions, and I hope you have the opportunity to make history, like you said, on January 20th.
Gracias por contestar. Gracias.
Muchas gracias a ustedes.
And our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Sunday Puncher Boxing. Please go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? This is for Robert. So you fought your last 2 fights in Toledo, and you had really great crowds. Even before that, when you fought Richard Comey in Pennsylvania, you had a lot of fans come in from your hometown. Just wondering if you can talk about your connection to your fans in Toledo, and if you expect a good turnout at the Barclays Center.
My connection to my hometown fans and my fans all over. I do respond. I try to respond to almost each and every person. You know how hard that is, but I try. People be so amazed that I do say something back on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. All my fans is real, man. Especially my hometown fans. They love traveling to see me fight, and because they know where I come from, and we all grew up together. I'm firsthand here. I'm the one of the only things they got that's still here. That's hands on with them. So they come and show support, mad love, and they always step out whenever they know I'm fighting.
Great, thanks. Next question. So you had a really great knockout of Argenis Mendez in 2016. Really one of the best knockouts of the year. Had people comparing you to Tommy Hearns. You had good offensive performances in your last 3 fights, but couldn't get a stoppage. So Javier is a very tough opponent, but I'm just wondering if you're gunning for a knockout, if you're motivated to try to get back on the knockout track.
I see Sabakov was a tough opponent. Richard Comey was a tough opponent. Cruz was a tough opponent. All these guys are tough. All these guys are tough. And like I said, man, we preparing, we making adjustments in the ring, and if a knockout comes, it comes. I'm not gonna shoot for a knockout, but I know I'm gonna set something up to where I can knock him out. But like I said, if it comes, it comes. But ain't no way he gonna beat me. He know that. His camp know that. Too much skills and just is no way he can beat me. No way.
Great. Thanks a lot. Good luck at the fight. This is a question now for Javier. So Robert Easter is a very tough fighter. He's at 135. I know you have fought heavier before. But just wondering what type of sparring you're doing in preparation for this. If you're fighting bigger guys, if so, what weight class they're coming from, because there really aren't many guys at 135 who are that tall.
Because ¿en qué peso ellos están?
Bueno, los boxeadores que me están ayudando a mí en el sparring.
All the fighters that are helping me out in sparring.
Y 40.
They're 135, 140.
Y están aquí mismo en el equipo mío.
And they're part of my team.
Robert Easter puede tener todo tipo su boxeo, más boxeo que yo, que sé que no lo tiene, y su pegada, que sé que no tiene más que yo nada de eso.
He said, you understand what Robert's saying, that he's more skillful, but he could have more skill, he could have whatever he thinks he has. He's not going to have my will to win.
Pero ante uno solamente habla y demuestra arriba del ring el 20 de enero.
He said, but the only way I can demonstrate it is in the ring.
And I think that's right, and we're going to get the answer in the ring when champion Robert Easter takes on a challenge of Javier Fortuna. I think we've done enough talking for a snowy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thursday afternoon. Thanks everybody for joining us. Robert, thank you. Thank you, Javier. We'll see you both. We'll see you both fight week. And thanks everybody in the press. Once again, tickets are on sale. Barclays Center box office, Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com. We hope everybody joins us at the Barclays Center on January 20th for a great night of boxing. presented by Premier Boxing Champions. And if they can't be there, Showtime Championship Boxing, starting at 9 p.m. with the earlier bouts featuring Marcus Browne and Adam Kownacki to take place on Showtime's Facebook page, stream, and Showtime's YouTube channel. So I look forward to seeing everybody fight week and brave the storm.
This completes your conference call, ladies and gentlemen. You now disconnect and have a great day.